Together, Marcus Cabral and Jacques Renault are Runaway, a Brooklyn-based DJ and production team, as well as the founders of On the Prowl Records. We caught up with them on Jacques' roof in Williamsburg to talk about disco edits, 90s New York rave culture, and how it's all about fun and sampling. Accelerator and Scion's City Guide application is now available for Google's Nexus One and the Motorola Droid. Choose a city, what you'd like to do, and when you'd like to do it, and an extensive list of Accelerator-curated shopping, eating, and music-related activities appear. The City Guide app is available for free at accelerator.com/cityguide or by visiting the Android market. This episode is brought to you by Scion. Scion, what moves you?
Honestly, I love stealing other people's music and making loops out of it and enjoying it. As Runaway, I mean, we DJ together. And it kind of evolved into us playing maybe two records or one record each and going back and forth. And then it becomes this almost like, I don't know if outdoing each other is the right way to say it, but it's like
encouraging. Well,
you're almost trying to one up the next person. You know? I mean, half the time when I pick out records, if I know I'm playing with Jacques, a lot of the records I'm picking out, I feel like I'm trying to impress him. You know, it's like, oh, you know, the audience, but Jacques really needs to hear this out, you know, super loud. We're trying to get our live show together. Hopefully, in 2010 and 2011, it'll be more of our live show.
Brooklyn Club Jam was something that we actually debuted on Pixel Space.
It's originally a Records 12-inch.
It was, definitely.
And when DFA heard it, they're like, okay, we want to put this out at the same time.
Yeah.
So the two labels worked together and released it relatively around the same time. I mean, I remember some comment like, who are these guys calling their song Brooklyn Club Jam? Like, what kind of cocky title is that?
We have our own label called On the Prowl, and we've done 3 releases so far. And this month we are launching our new sub-label, OTP Party Breaks, which is our sub-label, edit label. The more R&B, housey vein, heavy sampling.
Yeah, heavily sampling, but also extremely New York influenced. I mean, not too far off from the dance music you would hear in New York in, say, like 91. Out of the rave culture became like my obsession for faster dance music. Right around 91 is when I started doing the whole rave thing. The rave scene in New York, well, there are places like NASA, and that was at Vinyl on Hudson. For me, and I think for a lot of people, it was the first place to go as a weekly and hear this type of music, you know? Also at the same time was the Brooklyn parties, the Storm Raves, which was Frankie Bones and those guys, which was like a darker, much darker, harder sound. But all those things kind of like merged together slowly, and then everything got lumped under the name New York rave scene.
Yeah, remember everything was broken down into like...
Yeah, everything was broken down, whether it was like a techno party, a drum and bass party. I mean, you still see a little bit of that, but now because it's definitely a little more diverse.
Touchy subject these days, for sure. I think with the help of computer programs that we have access to today, anyone can make a disco edit. And it means you record your favorite song, you loop certain parts, you take out a vocal. There's been edits since there's been
DJs
disco.
have always been making edits.
Yeah.
Basically as a tool for themselves, you know?
I mean, obviously, like anything, there's terrible disco edits and there's really good ones. There's ones that don't need to be done. And people are doing the same ones over and over because they're not listening to what other people are doing.
But even aside from disco, I mean, if you look at house music in the 80s, artists like Frankie Bones or Joey Beltram, I mean, they were making, there's like heavily sampled tracks. It was like a collage of other people's house music. The same thing with hip hop in the 80s and 90s, you know, like, I'm sure they weren't like, oh, I feel so bad stealing this person's music. It was like, no, you know, they're having fun with something, you know, and kind of making it their own. And I think my love for that is kind of like what we do now, you know?
Fun with samples. I mean,
Yeah, it's all about fun and sampling.
yeah.
Fun is the key word.
Fun is the key word.
So are you named after the Twin Peaks character?
The Twin Peaks. No. I'm not.
I thought you were.
Well, my parents went ahead of time, saw the movie, liked it so much, they went, yeah. No, that's my real name. I like the association though. You know, my father's French, I have the most French name, my French is awful, and nobody believes that's my real name, so it's pretty, it's the way it goes.